The tennis court is the playing surface where the game of tennis unfolds. A space rich in history, design, and adaptation. From its medieval beginnings to today's high-tech arenas, the court itself has evolved dramatically in form and function. Here is an overview of its history, dimensions, and changes over time, focusing on key developments. Tennis traces its roots to 12th century France, where monks played Jeu de Paume, game of the hand, in monastery cloisters or enclosed courtyards. These early courts had irregular shapes, with sloping roofs and side walls used for rebounds. The net was a simple rope, and players used their hands, later gloves, then wooden paddles. By the Renaissance, royalty adopted the game, building indoor courts with stone or tile floors. These courts, known as real tennis or court tennis, emerged with formalized rules, and the courts were asymmetrical, with features like sloping roofs, galleries, and hazards, e.g., tambour, grill. Dimensions varied widely, typically around 96 feet long by 32 feet wide, tailored to the architecture of castles or manors. Henry VIII of England was an avid player. His court at Hampton Court Palace, 1530, still exists. In the 1870s, modern lawn tennis emerged in England, pioneered by figures like Walter Clopton Wingfield. His 1873 game, Sphairistikè, used an hourglass-shaped court, narrower at the net, 24 feet, than at the baselines, 30 feet, and measured 60 feet long. The court was played on grass, reflecting the era's croquet lawns. In 1877, the All England Croquet and Lawn Tennis Club hosted the first Wimbledon Championships, standardizing the court to a rectangular shape, 78 feet long by 27 feet wide for singles, with a 4.5 foot high net height, 3 feet at center, 0.91 meters net at the center. For doubles, 78 feet by 36 feet. This shift marked the transition to modern tennis. Grass remained the dominant surface until the 20th century. By the late 19th century, tennis spread globally, and courts adapted to local conditions. But clay courts, crushed brick or shale, appeared in Europe and Latin America, offering slower play. Hard courts, made of asphalt or concrete, emerged in the early 20th century, particularly in the US, for durability and lower maintenance. Artificial grass and carpet, 1970s to 80s, used briefly in tournaments but faded due to inconsistency. Modern tennis courts are not just surfaces, they're arenas equipped with technology. Technological integrations include Hawk-Eye line calling, introduced in the 2000s, LED court markings, used in the ATP finals, and LED lighting and climate control for indoor courts. Hybrid surfaces, mixes of clay and artificial materials for durability, and retractable roofs. Wimbledon, 2009, Australian Open, 2020, and others allow play in all weather. Also, there are electronic scoreboards, smart sensors, and high-definition broadcast setups. Courts have also evolved aesthetically, with surface colors, for example, blue hard courts for TV visibility, player areas, and branding becoming standard. The 1900s saw further standardization through the International Lawn Tennis Federation, ILTF, now ITF, formed in 1913, which codified court dimensions and surfaces. The modern tennis court's dimensions were largely finalized by the 1880s, but minor adjustments and surface variations have influenced play. Length, 78 feet. Width, 27 feet for singles, 36 feet for doubles. Net height, 3 feet at the center, 3.5 feet at the posts. Service line, 21 feet from the net. Baseline to service line, 18 feet on each side. These dimensions have remained consistent since the 1880s, ensuring uniformity across professional tournaments. Surface evolution. Grass, dominant until the 1970s, grass courts, for example, Wimbledon, are fast, with low ball bounce. They require meticulous maintenance, limiting their use today. Clay, popularized in the 1890s, clay courts, e.g., Roland Garros, are slower, with high bounce, encouraging longer rallies. They measure identically but play differently due to surface texture. Hard courts, introduced in the early 1900s, hard courts, for example, US Open, Australian Open, offer medium speed and consistent bounce. Acrylic coatings, for example, Deco Turf, Plexicushion, allow speed customization without altering dimensions. Indoor courts. Since the 20th century, indoor courts, carpet, wood, or synthetic, replicate standard dimensions but control environmental factors. Carpet courts, used until the 2000s, were faster but phased out in professional play. Key milestones. 1877, Wimbledon adopts the 78 by 27 foot rectangular court, setting the modern standard. 1908, clay courts gain prominence at Roland Garros, originally grass. 1978, US Open switches to Deco Turf hard courts, influencing global adoption. 1988, Australian Open shifts from grass to rebound ace, hard, later Plexicushion, 2008. 2000s, ITF standardizes surface testing, ensuring consistent play across tournaments. From medieval handball courts to high-tech stadiums, tennis courts reflect the sport's rich history and technological progress. Each surface, grass, clay, hard, creates unique playing styles, ensuring tennis remains dynamic across eras.